Ladies and gentlemen, I am Pronogo, and this time I am recording with the correct audio setting. What up, Mesk? How you doing?
Crow and frog again.
That's right. Round 2. You know, it's actually not round 2. It's round 2 of us casting DeadInfested, but it's round 3 of us casting Enozlliks. Let's see if DeadInfested can get to round 3 next time, or if Enozlliks is going to finish him off. We're going to start things off on Axiom. And as per usual, this is all best of 3. This is an elimination series. Loser of this is knocked out completely, and DeadInfested is going to be our orange Zerg in the top right. I'm guessing orange. It is indeed orange.
Oh my god!
And look at this in the bottom left. It's not white, but I don't know the color.
You snort it.
Snow. Hell yeah, dude! I'm so good. Snow Zerg in the bottom left. Hell yeah.
It's the bald over brush.
Yeah, got him. Also, I guess you saying you snort it should have actually been a hint, but I was thinking he's just saying cocaine, not snow, which is the same thing. But that's my autistic brain. Well, we do have Zerg versus Zerg, and that's always exciting. So what are you predicting?
I was going to say, it's Zerg versus Zerg, we don't have a 6 pool. That's strange.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm excited. Listen, dude. I think
inconsistent scouting between the two. Oh, no, never mind. Here comes
the... No, he's going to hatch on the ramp.
Proxy Kegrin. Oh, yeah. I guess he is.
Well, listen, we could still have that. So, a very exciting feature that's going to be very sad for Lundiers everywhere is we have fixed the issue where you could unload on like ramps and stuff. You could unload structures on ramps and do other stuff. That obviously wasn't fixed back when these games were played. So if you see some really silly Awfuleth shenanigans, there's a possibility that.
Wait, you mean you can literally build on the ramp?
Like, you could take the Kagrin and unload it on the ramp if you wanted to. Only Art of Turtle ever actually did that in a tournament game. Nobody else even tried. Honor system, I guess. Well,
I was thinking in another game you just make a wall of clerics, but that sounds way better, honestly.
Can't do it anymore. Missed the opportunity, TBH.
Shame.
Well, there's going to be some heckling, but Worker is indeed going to scout the more conservative opening of DeadInfested. We already have Quasis on the way, 3 pairs of them, in fact, so... What do you reckon Enozlliks is going to do with these?
Well, he has a distance to crawl if he wants to come across the map, but since he already saw the pool, I feel like it's just going to be defensive. He is pooling up to make his natural and... I like how he pulled back his worker because he was afraid that its innocent version eyes were going to witness murder and turn it into a battle worker, and it would charge off and attack his opponent rather than make a Hatrosk. And his opponent's also looking to make another Hatrosk, which is delayed by his Ramp Hatrosk. Now, I'm not so convinced about the Ramp Hatrosk that it's actually really that useful because of situations like this. He had to wait for resources to build his natural, and he can't make use of any of the larvae in this period, and it'll be a little while before he can. So I feel like it's better just to drop the nat and then maybe take it or go for the Larvask if you have to, because it's just so much money early on in the game, and just to put the circuit there when your opponent is not 6-pooling you, I don't know. Enozlliks is very, very carefully arranging his Quasis here.
That's right.
Trying to create the perfect line here, linear algebra, much to Veek's delight.
Oh no, he's forgotten about it.
Devil numbers.
He doesn't. He's looked away, and look. The Quasis aren't arranging themselves automatically.
Yeah, you got to keep lining them up.
DeadInfested's first set of military units are on the way, and it's a single pair of Quasis. So this whole time, Enozlliks could have probably just walked up the ramp and killed him, but getting a ramp patch of his
He does have a scout over there. It's waiting, hiding. I'm not sure if he actually is quite in vision of that, but he's definitely going to see the creep once he... Yep, there you go. Now, the real Chad move would be to kill the larva and then walk away, but additional tickler... Oh, Shambler.
That's right. That's right. Well,
yeah, that's right.
I'm excited, dude. I don't know what... I'm already seeing some very silly things, so I can't imagine how this is going to go.
This didn't turn into like a 6-pool, so it's definitely going to get balls entrenched into something silly, and it's just tickles on both sides. The players are starting to get some gas now, but nothing supremely aggressive at the moment. Definitely
there's an Awfuleth on the way for DeadInfested, so I guess he might be thinking about dropping. And Oz decides to unburrow and then move the Shambler a little bit closer.
Or maybe he suspects that Shambler is hiding.
Yeah, it could be just for anti-shambler maneuvers. You're right.
You never know. Could also just be for scouting, though, because the whole map is now full of tickles. Oh my god! It really is a drop. The dreaded quad quasi drop. It is en route. Oh, now it's coming back.
Oh, I was wondering. I was holding the line button to show me the line, and then he went all the way in the other angle. Why did he do that?
He's taking a long way around. He was gonna go long. No. Okay.
He's just hanging.
He's gonna drop his own mineral line. Maybe he like accidentally clicked it over there and didn't realize it, and well, we'll know if it ever moves from that
Pan up.
position.
What's that shadow on your minerals? Oh, it's in view. No, never mind.
Oh, there he found it. Okay, there we go. It's off.
You can see this. You can see it in slow motion happening on the minimap.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm not sure why he didn't take. I guess he really just wanted to go for the main. Maybe he's hoping to like spot the tech along the way or something.
Well, also that's where most of the workers are going to be. Actually, DeadInfested has gotten the worker advantage, which is pretty surprising.
There's Naths.
Of course.
Secret Agent Butts, Secret Agent Butter, Secret Agent Buttercup, and Secret Agent are gonna get tickled by four crane flies here that are just chilling out. AFK. Oh, there's more of them.
There's
that
much more.
Obelisk is absolutely fucked. It's probably just gonna walk right into them.
Yeah, there's actually 12 Naths out. Isn't that crazy? And Oz has a lot of money still, but he's only gonna make a couple more Naths.
He's gonna run out of gas. He's gotta like make more expansions and mine more gas and make more Naths. Oh, the Obelisk.
Here it goes.
Oh my god.
Here it goes.
Oh, the Quasis are gonna come out one by one just to die a disgusting death.
That's a dead Obelisk.
And
And away they go.
that Obelisk had like
Yikes.
a 5.
What is that for?
That's kind of like Jinkies. You say it on Twitter and you get a lot of likes from particular individuals, regardless of context. And yeah, I just walked straight into the Nats and died an absolutely disgusting, horrendous death. The Obelisk's like 5-minute adventure across much map. Oh my god. The
Bite, slap, bite, tickle.
There's more coming too. There's so many more coming. Okay. There's 2 spreads up and there's some Hydras. So he's probably all right. Might lose a couple workers here if he decides to commit. But honestly, if he kills all of his Nats, and that's fair trade for a handful of workers. But
he got one.
Yep, he got one. That was.
This is where you type yikes back, right?
Yeah. Now there's so many Nats. He's got a lot of Nats. There are more coming. He's invested incredibly heavily into this, and they've already proven to be most ineffectual. So now they're kind of just gonna chill out on the map, and DeadInfested is probably feeling pretty secure with his pocket protector. Oh, he's gonna possibly pull some down here.
That's right. Reducing the total even further. Don't worry. There's more where that came from. He's got 19 Nath records on the other side of the map. It was 22 before those 3 died a horrible death. And you can see DeadInfested kind of preempting the movement of the Nath records, which is a good play.
Yeah.
He already has the double
spray. They're going to try to probe in wherever your defenses are the weakest.
Well, you might say that, but these are Enozlliks Nath records. They're not doing them. So.
Yeah, they're doodads right now, and they're dying terribly.
Can't kill Dad.
Can't even tickle the Zorius to spawn some brood spawn.
Yeah, that would be helpful. See, he's moved one squad, but the other squad is just
yeah, you forgot about the other one. Now they're going to die. They're not going to do it.
Didn't even get a Hydra.
Kill the Hydra at the end of the day.
Don't worry, one of them is leaving.
Now, while that was pretty disastrous for Enoz, he is sitting at a healthy 12-worker advantage and still has way more military units overall. They're just not as good. But for the moment, if he just builds 30,000 circuits, he can secure his investment into the 3rd base.
That's right.
Which currently has 3 workers harvesting and 2 idle, but we won't count those. There's so many ticklers. So many tickles. He did evolve his pool into the Vornath pond, and that sounds like a certain DeviantArt searchable tag.
Pond?
Yeah, precisely.
Well,
that's
I
where
will
all
say
the water sports take place.
That's what you need to get Naths now, so that's why he got that.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, the tech tree is I guess you made all the the Zerg Air required tier 1.5 now.
Yeah,
that's why it didn't turn into
requires
Naths immediately. I've honestly been wondering where like the Nath rushes have been in the last few games. That's really what I expected to see.
You should go. There's some of the games that Taco Cake played in back in the day. He's not super active anymore, but he was pretty fond of the Nath rush. He still did it despite that. Now here comes the Hydra push.
There is tier 2 coming for Enoz, but there are so many Hydralicks. They're gonna let. Oh, they walked into the damage for a moment, but the Zoryus are hopelessly trapped behind there, watching until most of the defenses are already softened up.
Well, there are some Hydras here, so they can bust the Zoryus. Okay response time on remorphing Kagrins into circuits, so it just feels like the army isn't exactly super big here, but it looks like it'll be enough to repel DeadInfested, which is a bit of a surprise.
It was kind of a trade. I think DeadInfested came out all right, but there will be no lasting damage to that, so it's didn't really accomplish too much.
He's making 12 Hydras now.
He did thin out the Tickler swarm, but now Enoz is also spamming Hydras. Not really going to have much gas left over for a hard tier 2 switch if that's what he was hoping for. This is starting to look a lot like Brood War, like Hunters now, just like mass Hydra against mass Hydra.
Well, you know what? It feels like this is a game that's really defined by the low worker count. Like, even though Enoz has a significant worker advantage, it's still pretty low relative to the absolute. He's got 7 mineral harvesters, or 8 or 9 mineral harvesters at that third. Kind of the same count, about 12 at the natural, and like 10 in the main. So just to sort of underscore how much more money he could have. Therefore, he'd have more hatches or what have you, and it would be very different. But he's taking a 4th base. I got to give it to Enoz. He is taking bases a lot. He might not be saturating them, but if that is the pretext for him building more workers, that's one thing. Unfortunately, he's getting the tier 1.5 Hydra Den upgrade instead of the tier 2 one, so it's a little bit of a waste of money. But
another probe is here, but what do you know? It's almost like nothing is any different at all.
No kidding.
Is lost, but at what cost?
A lot of Hydras dying, but it looks like DeadInfested has plenty more to go still. We have some Scortriths mutating behind this all, but they do have a gas cost now, so that is a little bit trepidatious. It will still be somewhat useful. There's so many Hydras back here just sheltering.
Yeah, there's a lot of idle units for Enoz, and DeadInfested has no idea just what kind of beef actually is just like chilling out just beyond his vision. But then they started moving, and he's like, yeah, fuck that. He's probably going to get that tier 2 any moment. There it is.
All right. Well, he's definitely behind in the tech sphere. I mean, the Calcure Lake is done, so you can take your non-existent quasis, because they don't... Oh, no, he is making some of them, and you can make them into Lyrilisks. Lyrilisks are actually kind of a meta unit now, but this was way before that. No balance changes occurred to them. However, I do feel like we might not see them like in enough numbers to really be as effective as maybe people like Krankendow in the modern day have been able to do. So it'll be interesting to see how good they end up being. Bactylisks also being made. I feel like we don't see those.
Well, their
very
stats
often
were always decent, and the range boost was nice on them. It's just their gas cost was high. But because of our very distinct economic situation, both the players tend to have a little bit more gas than they might have otherwise had at this point. So yeah, they can just dump it all into Lyrilisks and get a little bit of that extra bouncing damage. But more importantly is that Enoz has a whole bunch of Bactylisks now, and those are going to make approaching those walls of circuits so much more painful.
4th base now on the way for DeadInfested at the 3 o'clock location with his tier 2 equipped. We'll see what he wants to avail himself of. I do feel like Enoz has the advantage, and you know, I kind of thought maybe this would be more of a cheesy situation than what we're seeing right now. We're actually seeing a bit of a longer.
They really wanted to play standard, but they couldn't.
Something kept pulling them in. Yeah. The Nath
kept pulling them in. The Naths make a daring return just to tickle DeadInfested's Crundle one last time.
Well, he might actually have caught that the Circuit mutated, so tier 2 then kind of a tell that tier 2 is up for his opponent. And I was going to go ahead and take bottom right when he has a grand total of 7 workers in the 4th base.
DeadInfested's really terrified of another Nath drive-by, so he's actually morphing all those anti-air defenses as well.
It's probably good insurance after a certain point, but again, like, there's not that many workers for them to protect is like something I keep coming back to here. But the Material Nest is now here for DeadInfested.
Saturated.
Yeah, we are seeing some gas capping happening, and I don't see... Oh, it looks like 1 or 2 of them are going to happen for Enoz. He's already got his 3rd. He's getting his main. So, you know what? He's doing all right. Bottom right hatch hasn't actually started yet, so still on 4 bases.
Coming. There's so many of them.
Yeah. Getting that Tethvith Swamp, so a little late to it, but we'll get the tier 2 den after all. You can get the Tetzora core for that. Very, very powerful unit. It still has the AoE, although it's not a radial AoE anymore. It's like a cone shape almost, like a cleave. And it also does that lifesteal. So very, very strong unit, especially in these fights that end up going a bit longer. They can get a lot of sustain out if they're not focused down. However, there's a lot of Hydras here to burst through armor, so I still feel like DeadInfested is doing okay.
It's actually going to be DeadInfested to get the Convalisks first. I saw them at Travel and Espinus for Enoz, and I thought, oh, Convalisks are going to make that Bacillus line like 1,000 times more annoying. But nope, it's his opponent getting them right now. And
big worker transfer. 7 workers moving to 3 o'clock.
That's huge.
That is. Looks like going up from 4 to 6 spaces is Enoz. He's going for the bottom right and the 9 o'clock position at the same time. He's getting some scouting done with these Naths, seeing where the bases aren't, which is still some information. But a very passive game this has turned into for now.
Surprisingly calm. Enoz can't believe his luck. But he doesn't want to sit on it too long because his opponent is slowly amassing Convalisks. I don't know where they went, but... Oh, no, the Nathicores are tickling. The one Nathicore is tickling. He has to pull his whole army over there. Fuck this asshole.
Well, some of the army is moving out here for Enoz, but he's left most of it behind, it feels like.
Oh,
so now DeadInfested.
Okay,
might be thinking he's... Yeah. There's one of those Teths getting annihilated immediately. This is where you realize as Enoz...
Army, though.
I know, yeah. Yeah, that's where you realize as Enoz, like, oh man, I should have definitely brought more. All right. He comes in with the rest of them. Has a couple of units parked off to the side that are going to get drawn into this. Not enough time to respond. Those
may have gotten a glimpse of how big his enemy's army is.
Yeah.
And so it begins, but all of his Zeracores and Fatties are in the back. The chase is on. Oh, now the chase is off. Oh, but the Rillarocores, they're tickling. They have 2 armor pen. They definitely tickle.
Yeah, they do. They also have lifesteal, so if you're not like attacking them...
just about was looking to prime for that tier 3, but his gas depleted. He's definitely got the minerals, though. Got so many minerals.
Yeah, 3K. Definitely should be adding more. Spire now coming up. I think he might be thinking about Protathalors, but, you know, in this situation, you really want some kind of crowd control to deal with all of that. Oh, no, his Convalisk!
No, not the Convalisks!
Oh,
my
no,
God,
that was so much Vespene.
Bitty Beast strikes again.
That one was for Dad.
The offer on the Dad altar continues. I hope these 3 don't follow.
From DeadInfested to DadInfested. Who is going to go ahead and charge on over here. Well, these Zoryas aren't finding too much of a purchase here. 3 of them going to go down. Oh, no. He stays alive with 10 health. Oh, no, but it's dragged in even more units. That's dangerous.
Oh my God. Oh.
Matrolets are here. Need to get them casting stuff. Oh, no, they're just going to get focus fired.
Oh, man, the Dilgoror is such a great-looking unit.
I'm sure
glad to see it today. It seems to be creating a cloud.
Yes, it's a mini Carapace Swarm when it takes damage.
Oh, my God, there's so many Dilgoror. Imagine the Convalisks will spawn them off of each other.
I know.
That would be amazing.
Who would do that? Well, I think the Matrolets both ended up dying there, which is a little unfortunate.
Yeah, I think they got splashed down. That's the problem when you're nearing the back list. You don't want your casters in front. They're just going to get chained off of if they don't get focused down.
DeadInfested almost killed his own Hydra, just softening him up for his opponent. This is going to favor the player with more splash damage the longer this kind of fight goes on here, but Enoz doesn't want it. He doesn't fancy it. He's falling on back instead.
He's getting caught up on the brood spawn. Slowly getting tickled.
That's right. They are biting. They're nibbling.
Oh, they're biting.
The Convalisk, 4 health. Narrowly avoids death.
1 tickle away from the retirement home. Enoz has so much money, he must be tempted to go for that tier 3, but...
Yeah, he just has no Vespene. He spent all of his gas. He just made 5 pairs of
Oh my God, it all
mutas.
disappeared. Dear God, all the Lyralisks.
Yeah. Yeah, they are pretty gas intensive.
He's forgotten about that other base. He's trying to tend to the masses, but DeadInfested is just so starved. If only he knew his opponent had almost 3,500 minerals right now.
Yeah, he DeadInfested look at it and look, I only have 1,000 minerals. He's
got all these Hatchrosks, and he can't even use the larva because he just doesn't have the money.
I feel like that might be a control grouping problem. Oh, no, he is selecting all of them. Okay. Never mind.
He's just really, really low on money. Now there's some Milisks. But there are tier 2... Okay.
Oh?
If he probably did not actually see that. Oh, he might have.
Well, he's looking at his rally point like, wait a second, I have no units there yet. And now he's going to push on forward. This could be the attack that kind of commences us forward. Still some Zoryus here and there. They're kind of trapped, though.
Is going to end.
Died. Mutas are idling at 12 o'clock. They're not actually doing anything right now, and Enozlliks focusing all of his efforts.
Another Matchless dies.
Yeah, they have not really had the best play these days.
They walk up, try to cast and die every time.
Well, the Derelict have actually kind of held that fight a little bit.
The Hydras. Like, they just are too fat.
Oof. Turned back into a quasi.
They're a smaller collision.
Oh my god. Utter devastation. That regressed Derelict turned into a quasi and then sniped 2 other quasis. That's a Rambo quasi, dude. All right, 24 mutas.
4,700. He's got the juice. He could just make all Hatchers and just dump nothing but Zeths.
Yeah.
And try to pump his opponent's Rilla Rokor so high that he can't even navigate the map anymore, and then attack the Enozlliks. And his army is paralyzed behind his own brood spawn, and then he can't do anything.
Well, they don't collide with other units, but that's okay.
That's insane. I'm sure I've seen Zoryus twitch when they spawn them, like they're decoying or something.
Probably at the way back.
So many of them.
Oh, the mutas have been found.
Took a tickle, but...
Oh no! What is Enoz going to do now? Apparently, just let 5 Hydras or 5 mutas fly away. 12 o'clock being taken underneath the muta nose. That's bold. That's,
oh my god.
Meanwhile,
there's so many Mutas, but there's so many Derelicts.
Yeah, there's a big attack coming in for the 3 o'clock at the same time as this, and the mutas, some of them flying away, some of them not.
Some of them chilling out.
A calm 8,000 minerals.
He can go straight to tier 3. He can just hold up his opponent for a while, but DeadInfested has had enough of this shit. He's going down to the very, very juicy, succulent, and highly saturated 7, 8 o'clock position.
No! Well, I think Enoz is mostly busy attacking the 3 o'clock. The few workers that were here get evacuated.
The trade continues.
I'm trying to track what the players are actually doing when they pan over a certain area. I can't believe those mutas are just sitting there in the top left.
No fucks given.
Well, trading
if he builds there again,
they'll
be ready and waiting.
Yeah. DeadInfested abandoning the attack onto these on that hatch, so he's just going to go straight for the third base.
So many quasis. But
this
where
is
are
actually,
they going?
Yeah, if these armies don't sync up at some point, this is actually a little bit dangerous here for Enozlliks. He doesn't have anything in production despite his crazy money. He was waiting for the Zorkas, I guess. Could bring the mutas back at some point.
He could just build all circuits on that ramp there and just wall it off. But you think he's starting to panic when he realizes, wait a second.
Yeah, he's catching a couple of units. There's like a bunch of random workers here rallied from DeadInfested that he caught in the middle. He's kind of hemorrhaging the back. I don't know which army wins, but I'm gonna put my bets with DeadInfested. It's much larger, and he still has these Convolisks to kind of absorb any errant damage from like static defense and the like. You can see him trying to charge up the ramp so he can get cliff advantage for the incoming army from Enoz.
Yeah, there's just shit all over the place for Enoz. Even if he mops this up, which is increasingly unlikely with this wall of Hydras coming behind him, he's going to take so much damage in his main otherwise. His other bases would have had to have been saturated, and he has to keep his tech alive, but
yeah,
looks like DeadInfested may have his eyes upon some of that tech as soon as he mops up these random Hatteros.
Well, the mutas have been discovered again, and so unfortunately they kind of got separated, and most of the mutas died, or like half of them died, and now the other half are coming in to deal with the spear tits. So.
God, is this seriously going to be a base trade?
I think so, question mark? A couple more units
he's trying to get up this ramp here. He's killed a
lot.
No,
DeadInfested has so many units, though. Like, he still has so many alive. And the spear tit is doing attacks because, like, for whatever reason, Enoz wasn't focusing on them. I don't know what's going on there. It looked like he was about to correct it. Instead, he's going to try to macro up in the bottom right.
Fucking DeadInfested built his own circuits inside of Enoz's base.
No way, where? I missed
it. Look where his army is.
I don't see it.
He's got 2 of them right by the ramp. Now he's morphing them into Scortress colonies. He's making more.
I think you must be looking at a different version than I am, dude.
No, I'm looking inside of Enoz's base. DeadInfested is building 3 K-Rants. 2 of them are morphing into Scortress.
Keep talking. You got to narrate the game to me.
And meanwhile, the Meatless, they're killing DeadInfested's third, but his main is full of Hydras and shit, so he can't do anything to the main at all. There's just Hydras and Spiritids. DeadInfested's army is now coming over there to kill the random Axiom.
Interesting. Well, right now I'm watching a small attack force.
Shit is.
Yeah, I'm watching a small attack force mop up a little
bit. The game is now kind of in a stalemate as Enoz tries to rebuild all of his tech inside.
Yes, I see that happening over here.
Oh, the army's coming over to step on it though. Oh,
yeah, there's not that much over here on my end. What's here on yours? Does it not have any units?
It's just 2 Scorch.
Yeah, okay, that part's
gonna get stepped on.
Yeah.
I can't believe he built a spray inside of Enoz's face. There's 2 Scorchers and a Sprite there. Enoz has grounded up his handful of Quasis with his Melisks, but the main is just got like 40, 50 units of like Hydras and Azuricors and shit in there. And the Melisks are all gonna die to the random Spray that is Nat with the Azuricors. All of Enoz's army has died except for all the battle workers in the middle.
Battle workers?
Battle workers.
Oh, they're not battle working.
Well,
I'm glad we had investigative reporter
is attacking his own Vilgoricor. Oh,
well,
he stopped.
That happens. Well, GG will be called anyway.
It's Jover.
It is.
That was unbelievably demented. That was like half a base trade. Just DeadInfested had so much shit in his main at the end of the day. The Melisks just couldn't do anything to it at all. That was just demented.
That's right. We like demented stuff over here.
I really like that he built random shit in the base, though. I didn't see any workers in there, so I'm not really sure what was going on.
All I know is it's a good thing we had you to relay that info, because on my end, there was nothing like that happening.
Yeah, that was really weird. I didn't see any workers go down there. I didn't actually see them. I saw them starting to morph, but I didn't see what was morphing them, so who knows what.
I guess it could have been Gosvalets. Maybe. Not sure.
Maybe, I'm not sure.
You would have seen them pop back out, though, so if you didn't see that...
I didn't think I saw those.
Well, Enozlliks is facing elimination. He's going to need to come on back strong and hard if he wants to bypass that reality. And we have DeadInfested. I'm going to say this is not actually yellow, but I'm just going to guess yellow. It is yellow. Holy shit.
It is yellow.
And he is in the bottom left. In the top right, we have Russian green. Holy shit, I'm so good at this. In the top right. There you go.
Sukabliat.
Sukabliat.
Suka.
Chokavo Suchara. You know what they say? Now I have sanctioned. Goodbye.
Piss versus puke. Oh my god. It's the 7 pool.
There we go. What will DeadInfested do?
Crow power, but still tickling.
Okay, well here's the read, right? As DeadInfested, if you 9 pool here, you basically win the game. It's a very, very difficult position to lose from, but he is going to go hatch first. Now, hatch at the ramp into pool this is not unplayable from the 7 pool. However, this is much more favorable than if he 9 pooled. So we'll have to see what he ends up pulling out as he gets a little bit more resources in for that worker.
Oh my god, piss versus puke. Who's gonna get thrown up on first?
If your puke looks like this, you need to see a doctor.
DeadInfested's pooling his money now, waiting for that pool, but by the time it arrives, there will be ticklers en route. It's not going to be Zeth, so it's going to take him a little bit longer to get across the map.
Well, he did make workers this time around. If you remember his first 7 pool that we saw versus General Anakin, he wasn't making workers. It was much less optimized. So it seems like he's learned his lesson there. Actually, the workers both took like a secret path and they find each other on it, going the long way around. So that's kind of interesting. It looks pretty good right now. I mean, the problem is, so if the Quasis get there, they just wreak havoc on workers. And if the problem is, like, are they going to get there in time? And look at that, he just pulls away.
He divert his Quasis away from the worker, but...
Yeah. Well, DeadInfested didn't look. He didn't pay attention to the minimap there. His camera didn't pan over, so that's interesting. No circuit starting. Pool not even close to being finished. In fact,
he drops the circuit next to that hatch. It just turns into a mess for DeadInfested, but DeadInfested's got his going first. Oh, the tickling has commenced.
That's right. He's going to go ahead and mine. He wants to fit in.
Oh, my God.
Kagrin is battle working. Okay, we have 2 pairs of Quasis for DeadInfested. He's going to have to queue up another one as Kagrin did finish.
You could focus on those eggs.
I feel like this is already going to be over. There's even a proxy K-Grunt as well.
Oh my god.
Oh, no, the battle workers in the natural as well. They try to evacuate, and they're going to start to stand and fight.
Epic worker duel going on in the net.
Yeah. Who wins? Of course it's Enozlliks. Tickle him. Get him.
It's tickle and tickle violence.
All right, well, we're down to 5 workers compared to 11. That's going to finish into the circuit. No!
Oh, no, it finished.
Oh, my God, the humanity. Well,
oh, the humanity.
Hey, man.
Oh, they're dying.
He would have killed it, but yeah, he was already out, so no GG there. Okay. I love that. I'm a fan of that. All right. Here we go. Game number 3, baby. All right. Enozlliks has gotten us back into a tie game. Now just pretend it's a best of 1, and it's fine.
Yeah, that's easy.
So, Mesk, it's been a while since you've competed in some of these series. What would you say, like, if you had to give somebody advice, genuinely, for, like, you've, traded up or whatever, in this kind of situation, if you were giving Enoz a pep talk, talking about, like, you cheesed him to get back after the macro loss, and the first game was really weird anyway, you had that macro advantage, what would you say to him now, saying, like, all right, we're going into Impetus, it's the longest rush distance map ever, what are we going to do? What does Mesk say? What's Coach Mesk say in this situation?
In this, I would say you probably want to be aggro, but not super committed. Because it's pretty obvious when he left that he was getting tilted. And you just want to exploit that.
Gotcha.
So, you also, you don't want to get too committed into it, though. Because if you lose, because of the first game, losing the macro game, and just, being, just really suffering with the macro in general, even though I think he had more bases. It was pretty obvious that, there's some weakness there that can be exploited. So if it turns into just the two of you teching up and kind of playing passively for the first 15 minutes again, it could just be a repeat. So you want to be more aggressive in this. Like the Nath idea was good. It just didn't have any impact and came too late. It's also very, very committal. If you don't do a shit ton of damage with your 25, 30 Naths, that's... I don't know how much they cost now, but I mean, that's still tech plus gas for the unit. So it's still going to be a huge investment. So, diving all into Naths without having some forwarding of what the opponent's actual defenses is pretty committal. So you don't want to get super committal into that, but you do want to be more aggro. And you can also expect the opponent's probably going to watch out for getting cheesed again, even if it's a longer map.
Right.
Especially at the lower level, people get very, very defensive. And if they do that, then you can maybe be more aggressive about your eco and try to just eco up. But if they look to do the same thing as the first game, then you want to just keep harassing and tickling them. You just want to be a cunt. And you just want to throw them off, because that's how you just break the equation that you have in the first game, where it's like, if I lose, when I played against Nablime, when Nablime first started, and we would go back and forth, and he would have this long wind-up period until he reached the point where he started doing all the drops and shit. So the wind-up period is basically where I would win by knowledge checking him. And then once he figured out what this unit does, what that unit does, what this build means, what that build means, then he would be able to defend against it, and then it wasn't so effective anymore. But it was pretty obvious that when he got moving, I couldn't keep up with his macro. So the way I would win is by just constantly knowledge checking. Now, it's harder to do that here because both the players sort of know the project already. Right. But you can still knowledge check it if, you are looking at so many games and they're turning out specific ways, like the first game where you're getting out macro. Then you want to knowledge check by doing a very different kind of tech, a very different kind of approach, where maybe you want to be more aggressive in tier 1 before tier 2 even shows up. Maybe you want to try Zorkiz. Gorgors are still pretty good. Lakizlis can be really annoying if he doesn't get the Ovolith first. You can use that. There's ways you can change that up and
play a different style, basically.
Right? Just scouting more is really a big thing you want to do at this point, is to know how he's going to respond. Because scouting will tell you the information you need. That if you want to be more aggressive, then that information will tell you where and how you can be aggressive. If you scout ahead, then you know your 30 Naths are going to actually do anything versus them dying on sprays or he's already got Hydras or something.
Okay. Well, let's see what happens. We're going to go to Impetus. Like I mentioned earlier, it's the map with the longest rush distance. I mean, it would have been really amazing if you said all of that prelude and then, we're like going back and forth on the strategy.
I mean, that's good too, but
yeah.
No 6 pools yet, unfortunately.
Well, DeadInfested will be in the top right as the orange Zerg. And down here in the bottom left, it's Enozlliks as the Magma Zerg. No, Sunglow. I said that so confidently, too. Well, it's going to be Sunglow Zerg instead. The only color guess I got wrong this whole time, and it was with utmost confidence, which is exactly how Enozlliks should play.
Yeah, definitely, especially on a bigger map like this, you want to scout more. And the other way is that the other strategy you can do is, like, splitting off to attack the expansion was great. But when he started attacking your one base and knew his army was just like intentionally ignoring you, that's when you just have to build like every circuit under the sun and just turn them all into Scorchers before his army hits your main, and you want to build them around the ramp. So just to really like slow it down and give you a chance to actually get your units together and not like trickle them in a big single file Congo line, because then your army is going to be even less efficient in defending. So There's like a few ways that could have been handled better, but it's also like scouting and just responding to stuff. Because when it comes to like T2 versus T2, and you have the same units of the Convolus and then the Mass Hydras, and it's like you kind of want to change that composition. You don't really want to fight the composition like that, because especially if you're behind on macro, then again it just does turn into raw numbers, and then you're not going to do too well against that if you're behind. And even if you are, then decisive victories are harder to obtain that way. So having like the Mulus and stuff like that was an idea, but you already knew the opponent had a shit ton of anti-air and was already building units good for dealing with air units in general, just all the Mass Hydras and everything else on top of it. So I honestly think that just going straight for tier 3 and just like doing a bait and switch into tier 3 and turtling while trying to control the map and not being overly committed about it could have really, really helped Enoz out. But you can tell, like I said, both the players are I think Enoz is a little scared about the counter rush because we see a very, very fast circuit.
Yes.
And DeadInfested also built a very fast circuit in his mineral line. So,
well, the first contact with the Zeths is done. Quasis are going to just tickle him to death, so DeadInfested wisely falling back and disengaging. Now he can maybe think about using that early pressure to, okay, my opponent built the more expensive units. I'm going to expand faster. That seems to be the play. We've got a couple of Zeths here, 7 of them, in fact, and the ramp patch is coming. So I guess you'd call this ahead for DeadInfested as far as the macro goes. However, he has been a little bit slower to get to the worker count that we'd like to see historically in all of the games that we've casted of him so far. So the fact that he's starting to build more now is a good sign, but let's see what he does with these Zeths. They're going to come back in.
Yeah, Zeths are a good choice in this map, but I remember when the Quasi rework first came out and there was all those games with Shambler versus, I think it was Mr. Meat, when they were trying out the different early Zerg builds, and it just basically came out that Quasis are just generally better. Which means that you really want to use the Zeths for like map control in this case.
Yes, scouting,
committing them at this point is not
yeah.
a great idea. Like if you see all the Quasis there, just don't really like try to run by them, because if he's going to micro them well, then that's pretty much what's going to happen. And trading one worker for the 6 Zeths at this point in the game isn't great, because now you've got to get more military units or he's just going to attack you. But if you had saved them and then he attacks you with his Quasis, then you can go and attack his base, and then maybe you catch reinforcements and kill them because there'll probably be less of them. Maybe you actually can just do a run by, like, as a circuit that isn't protecting its worker line whatsoever. So there's like ways you could have taken advantage of that without being really wasteful.
He's coming back in, and he's got a battle
workers!
It died.
And it's dead.
Okay, well, DeadInfested is going to enjoy that. Maybe type yikes, you never know.
Yeah, well, the tickling is in play. Counter tickled, de-tickled.
Yes.
Like I said, you just don't want to be in a situation in a mirror match where it's just like the raw numbers, because especially at the lower levels, if you're not really comfortable in your control, you can slip up really easily, and it's just like, it just feels bad. And you just want to get in a situation where it's just like you're forcing like tool chain disruptions. Now, speaking of disruptions, the big thing about DeadInfested's base is if it was more saturated, that circuit is going to slightly fuck with his pathing, which could have consequences if you dropped him on the bottom and forced the workers to go up and left. They can actually get hooked on that circuit, depending if he thinks to click on the minerals or not to get them to actually bunch up.
Well, looks like it's going to be pretty committed here for DeadInfested, with a lot of Quasis marching over towards the natural. It has enough HP and armor that I don't think it's going to be liable to get sniped early, but it might force an engagement.
You gotta be careful when doing that, because you don't want your units to get focused on the building and start taking free damage.
Yeah.
that's when bad things can happen. If Enoz plays around that very carefully, he can equalize this engagement here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's 14 Quasis on Dead Infested side to only 11 left alive for Enoz, so definitely an advantage for Dead Infested, but he needs to micro, he needs to pay attention. Darting back, that's a good play. Gonna go ahead and start focusing things down. The circuit is finished, but it's out of range.
Yep.
Of course I say that, it starts to tickle. Yeah.
Dead Infested had a good idea at the right time. Just don't let him catch you on the line. You want to pull back to bits and force him to get close so he can enclave. And now, Enoz is committing, and he's really not in a position to commit, but I mean, he is going to slow down the damage on the Hatch Rusk, and eventually Dead Infested is going to move away. Oh, no. He takes some free damage here.
He's fine.
All right. Well, he got one extra kill off of that, so not the worst case scenario. Dead Infested ahead by a single battle worker at the moment.
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah, this is a much better worker count for Dead Infested relative to his opponent. Obviously, in an absolute sense, you'd expect more workers out of both players, but Dead Infested has the Vornath compared to Enoz going for the Hydrith, so that's kind of interesting. They're kind of swapping places compared to the previous, well, not the previous game, because the previous game was over in a jiffy, but, you know, the first game.
Now, here's something interesting. Dead Infested, of course, building a Spraith now, thinking there might be another Nath push. But this one's not in so great of a spot because I do believe that the God, what the hell? What are they called? The Hydrus ones.
Yeah, Skithercore.
Skithercore, yeah. Those are ranged, so they could just sit back there. Everyone, Skithercore is that could just outrange that, I believe. Well, it is 9 range, so it is quite heavily ranged, but I think they could still hang out right above.
You can actually see a preview if you hold shift while you mouse over the weapon icon.
Oh yeah. They can threaten those 9 minerals and the gas there. So there's like that's a hypothetical situation you have to think about when you're sticking down, especially early on defenses that are really monetarily important for the Zerg. Is how will my opponent look to get around this?
Yeah.
And again, there's no scouting going on, so like, isn't aware of that. But if he just decided just to blind switch it, is something you have to be considerate of.
Remember when we were talking about single filing? This is really bad when you're doing that into ranged units. Dead Infested losing a couple Zets there. A trio, in fact. A 3.
There's a bunch of Hydras in this, so there's a fair amount of damage in this to go through all that. Just pulling
look at that. Just pulling them in, yeah. Maybe forcing a bad engagement here. The Vorvs are already regressed, so that's not very good for
You don't want him to surround the Hydras. Some of the Hydras are taking damage here. You want to pull back the Hydras and let the Quasis take the front.
Yeah.
But now the numbers are absolutely on Dead Infested's side.
He's going to be able to push him back. No front line here. No Izira cores, no Zorkas for Zorius or anything like that. So on the retreat, though, he can get a couple of extra picks.
Enoz is trying to be a little tickly here, but it's like it's Quasis at this point. Like none of these fights are going to decide the game at the moment. But you really want to be putting your energy somewhere else, and as a result, because Dead Infested wasn't paying attention, now it's 42-19 military. So there is just so much shit now in Dead Infested's base. Even though he is slipping super far behind in the workers now.
Yes,
it's starting to look very reminiscent of that first game.
That's right, and Enoz putting a Quasi up there is a great play at 12 o'clock, making sure that there is no third base coming up online in that location. Still could be in the 2 o'clock position, but that's a less common occurrence. Actually, these Quasis are going to clear it out, so maybe Dead Infested is thinking about that base. Definitely not thinking about workers, though.
I'm pretty sure he saw them burrow.
What the hell was that?
A little bit of a dance there.
Yeah, it's intimidation.
Enoz wants to actually catch those units out, but this is dangerous because his opponent's military is really huge. Yes. Right now, Enoz is actually in a very safe spot if he just does nothing but turtle. He can get a couple kills here, but he doesn't really want to commit.
Yeah, he hasn't lost anything yet. Okay, starting to turn the tide there, especially as like 12 more Quasis just dive on in there. Definitely going to be the go signal to Dead Infested. And Enoz is trying to get out of there without losing too much. Looks like he will be successful in that. Still no tech advantage leveraged for either player right now. But this bridge, as great as it is in general, it's not going to be that good when the worker advantage or the military advantage rather is double. Like, Enoz has double the workers, but Dead Infested has double the military, it feels like.
Yeah, this is at a point where you actually just win by doing literally nothing.
Yeah.
Your opponent's military, so long as it isn't trading with you, it contributes nothing when you have over double his workers.
Yep.
So, just like camping out, I think he wants to just try to like trim the military in case it all ends. But losing the Hydras is just like it for him that's more valuable of a loss because his opponent leaves that with a higher military overall at this point, which is a huge investment for him. But if you lose all your military and then you could possibly lose a base like right now, then it's not so good.
Yeah, this could have potentially been defended instead. However, most of the army is actually not with itself. DeadInfested now going to go ahead and pull the trigger. Has a really nice, like, almost 360-degree arc over here, or 180-degree arc. Definitely going to work out there. Battle workers didn't even get to fire a shot. But, you know, the quasi count is being trimmed.
Went in the opposite direction over there.
Yeah, some of them are kind of idling off the reinforcement point, which is not ideal.
Enos has so much money right now. He could be looking to that tier 2. If he was mining from the ridge, he would have had it on the way if he wanted it.
That's right. Either ridge would have helped him out at this point. It looks like he will end up losing that hatch, but he will recall the
He's focusing on the eggs at the moment.
Oh, okay. That's actually a bit of a misplay.
Chance to move in there. If Enos wanted to move in there with the rest of his Hydras, I think you could have mopped this up.
Well, they might get just dragged into the fight at this stage. Let's see. It feels like it's a little bit too late. Yeah, the hatch is definitely going to go down now. Oh, and then he was going to try to set up a worker to go into that sort of upper left area north of his main, but not able to get out with the reinforcements. Now, the Hydra count is high enough that he could have taken this fight head on, but he didn't fight together with his army.
Yeah, half of his army isn't there.
Well,
if he had gone to defend that base before the reinforcements arrived, I feel like he could have won. And then he could have pushed away the reinforcements, and he would have been in a good position to build some circuits there and stop counterattack. The worker count is still hugely ahead of Enos, but he really wanted to have that third up. That really would have cemented him for tier 2, but
absolutely, yeah.
Now it's not so good, and DeadInfested is just throwing in the pressure, just nothing but quasis. Hasn't even done anything with that third base yet. He's got some workers idle over there, but Enos is still not in a bad position. Just look at all the money he's got. Throw down tier 2, turtle up.
There it is, yeah.
Maybe like drop a worker up north and then just sit on this. He doesn't know that at the moment, but his advantage is still quite sizable just because of the income.
Did you remember the game where Keen had over 90 Quasilisks against somebody I can't remember way back in Ascension? Yeah, it might have been 3Crow. It was on Otherworld, the Ashworld map, right? Yes. And so he just kept moving up and down, and he looked like he could have maybe won, but he just never pulled the trigger on the attack. That's kind of what I'm getting vibes of DeadInfested here, except I'm sure he will pull the trigger. It's just, I know it looks like he's getting 94 Quasilisks, but monocomping, I don't know if it's the right move. I'll just say it's not really the right move. Yeah.
There's so much tickling.
Do you remember a game where I played against Zishi and made nothing but quasis? Maybe that's what I should have said.
I remember a number of games where you went nothing but quasis and someone needed 60 wyverns to put an end to your shenanigans.
That's correct.
Oh, this is a disaster. So many quasis have died.
Don't worry, there's an Enozlliks Hydra running
that
free.
north base there at the 7 o'clock just to make sure nothing dirty is going on. But tier 2 is finished for Enos.
Oh,
all he has to do is play it kind of safe here. He's down on gas now, but if he wanted to, he could start capping geysers.
Wait. DeadInfested literally isn't mining gas. He has 0 Vespene workers right now.
You don't need gas. Dude, this is a mineral-only game.
Yeah, he's mead.
He literally doesn't need anything but quasis. That's it.
I can't believe it.
He's got 8 gas. That's all he needs.
Yeah, he made 2 Ovileths with the last 100 Vespene that he had. And he's gonna try to drop them in.
Circuits have turned into Scortriths now.
Yeah.
This is going to be increasingly difficult for mass quasis to breach. And there is a Spire coming, and if that turns into mass mutas, there isn't tier 2 sprites waiting for them now. That will be really painful, but Enos does not have the gas to make a lot of them at the moment.
Yeah, that's correct. He's on 2 bases. He must be thinking that his opponent has so much stuff. But
oh my god, something is fermenting. It's the dreaded quasi drop. It's coming. Right.
One more. Fill him up.
One more.
There it is. There, yeah.
Here it comes.
Okay, off he goes. With 12 Quasilisks and a dream. And maybe 100 more somewhere else. Jesus. What's he going to be able to do with 12 quasis? Oh, he's just going to
he could kill the entire resource line because there's nothing protecting them. Oh, he's going to go for the tech. How long does it take quasis to kill the Iris?
I don't know. They're doing 1 damage a shot, I'm pretty sure.
Might pull everything out. Oh, his Hydra has scouted the entire army.
That's right.
But his loyal defenders amassed towards
I can't believe what I'm watching.
Oh, he's going to build an emergency Hatros.
Oh, I love this
to blockade the line.
That's right.
They're going to try to force their way into there, but there's potatoes waiting for them. Potatoes and Scortriths. Oh, it's a massacre. Oh,
Well, the
I think you
Enozlliks
need a
got out
couple more
okay.
100 quasis at this point. Oh, DeadInfested finally started mining gas again.
Oh, that hatch got canceled as well. He canceled it to get the money back.
It served its purpose.
Yeah.
This is...
I can't believe
the
it.
offerings.
Okay, he's starting to mine gas again. Hydrith Den on the way.
Oh, a Goswelleth is scouting up north.
Ooh. Can't catch me. I'm too fast.
Bye.
I'm just gonna. Hide in the
no.
corner. He gets
No,
out.
I forgot about
He's
them.
out. Oh wait, the front gates are open. What the heck? Enozlliks is on the map. 12 pairs of sets on the way.
There is a lot of units, but Enozlliks actually has more units now because he is making so many Zethar cores.
Okay, is there a Giga Chat opportunity here? Can he put down the proxy Kagran, like with the Goswelleth? Can he do that?
I don't know. He's got something brewing. But all of his units are kind of separated, though.
It's just nothing but quasis for DeadInfested. What has he done? I feel like a switch flipped at some point, and it's just never been the same again. For Cathalors dying to Quasilus.
This is what happens when you sacrifice to the Dead Altar. Oh, it's the back door. The back door is going to come straight for the battle workers.
Not them.
Oh, they're getting tickled.
No, one of them died. Okay, a couple of units are over here. More sets on the way.
They're spilling into DeadInfested's base. Just a handful of units, but there's nothing to stop them.
No.
But he's also got so much money. Oh, they burrowed, but the Zethar cores will find them.
That's right.
Oh, the potatoes.
It
Meanwhile,
died.
in the middle of the map, quasi on quasi violence.
No, they're caught on the bridge.
This back door has caught DeadInfested completely off guard.
Boy, they're on the hatch.
Unbelievably sassy. They're going to force down the hatch, Roska, at this rate.
Three! Oh! It died.
Meanwhile, the potatoes are flinging corn dogs at the quasis, but there's just so fucking many of them.
There's too many.
The Obelisk.
The
other Obelisk. Oh, the Zethar cores are single filing in.
Well, they might buy enough time for the Pentathlors to get a couple more confirmed kills in the Navy SEALs before they get destroyed. 6 mutas are on the way to the top right, but there is a single Spraith valiantly defending. Valiantly defending 6 Stroliths.
It's okay. He's got quasis. That's all he needs.
I think DeadInfested had like a moratorium on building workers or something. I really don't know what's up with that.
Well, DeadInfested saved some of his workers. His third is very juicy right now. If he loses that third, he still has 2,000 minerals he can put into quasis. But DeadInfested has activated Ultra Instinct, and nothing but Tier 1 is spilling out of his base. He's got 2 Kagrans sitting at his Aris, awaiting the call to Carlos. Oh, they're gonna die.
They're gonna die. There's a couple more just rallying in and dying.
More of them are coming. This is just psychological damage at this point. Will he pull back every single quasi to kill the 2 Milas?
They are sort of heckling. Yeah, he's going for it. Not every one of them, though.
Okay.
Here come the Zets. They're going to get brought in by the circuits. But yeah, actually, he's going to go ahead and defend that. He hasn't ever unburrowed the 8 workers that were hanging out over there.
Well, at least they're safe. They can't witness the horrors that are occurring just south of them.
Yeah.
There's thousands and thousands of quasis tickle each other. And the workers are wiggling across the map towards a secret base.
This is a deranged game yet again. How do we keep getting here, Max?
Oh, God, he's making a Zorkis. What could he possibly be doing with this?
I don't know, but I like the larvae that have stayed alive over here.
Oh, God, the Lyrilisks are appearing now.
Oh, they are. They are indeed.
This is
Dude,
gonna. This
is 81 quas. What the hell? He's got more coming.
Are turning into Giga Quasis.
Nothing but 30 Lyrilisks just got queued up.
Oh my God! All his resources. Oh, this is gonna be horrible.
By the way,
this has to be intentional. This is. Yeah. There's no way he's just doing this.
Yeah, I wonder, was DeadInfested thinking, like, I'm going to kill him with nothing but quas? Oh, he unburrowed the workers.
He's going to kill him with nothing but quasis. They're just slightly pricklier. There's thousands of them. Oh, my God.
Oh, the bounce. The bounce. No. On the bridge, too. Imagine all of them getting bowled over by a giant boulder. That's what you're basically watching right now. Lyrilisks are going to get closed in on. They have so much movement speed, but who needs to kite when you can just A-move? They turn back into Quasies after they die. That's how good they are.
There's 27 Lyralists.
GG question mark. I can't believe it. Enozlliks. He makes it in a little bit further into the tournament.
He holds on by the skin of his Quasilisk.
I can't believe how many Quasilisks were made. Jesus. Holy shit,
It's like looking in a mirror.
Yeah, except I really let myself go or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, you became defeated in soul, so you started mining gas again.
Yeah, something like... Yeah, I guess so. That's basically what happened. All right, well, that was Elimination 1A, the first round, one of the first round matches. That was an elimination in the gauntlet. Enozlliks goes on to face Benno. DeadInfested is out of the tournament at this point. So I'm not sure if we'll continue tracking Enozlliks or if we are going to head on over to see what happens between Grunch and Biddy B in the lower bracket. Grunch was supposed to play against Taco Cake, but he forfeited the match because he was drunk, I think, was the reason.
Listen, that never stopped Keen.
I know. Well, I think he was literally out drinking. That might have been it. So he wasn't drunk yet, but he was in the process. I believe
that's just used his cell phone.
Yeah, something like that. Now, that does mean, by the way, that like we've already cast, like earlier, Neblime and I casted Top Ramen versus Benno. That was a 2-0. That's how Benno ended up in the lower bracket. That means that of the matches that are left to be cast, it's Benno versus Enoz, Biddy B versus Grunch. The winner of that goes on to face Moonhunter. So those three matches remain for us to take a look at. Will be interesting. Couple of best of threes. All elimination games, high stakes matches. So I'm looking forward to that. Mesk, do you have any final Quasilisks for us?
When in doubt, tickle. And when the tickles tickle, tickle, and then smoke weed every day.
There it is. Tickle it up, boys. GG.